Yeah, you see it? You see it? That's this week. That's this week. We're talking the two Jupiter and Uranus, right? Jupiter and Uranus up there in Taurus energy. They're going to reach the matching degrees this week. We're going to talk about it. And what week is that? There it is. The week of April 15th, 2024 to April 22nd, I believe. Yeah, we cover the next 7 days. And what I will say about these next 7 days for this week in particular, you have the two great benefics. The two great benefics are highlighted. Yeah, I know. They don't call Venus a great benefic. I know. They call Jupiter the great benefic and Venus the lesser benefic. Well, it just depends on your chart. But either way, these two most beneficial energies are highlighted this week, April 15th to the 22nd. Yep, so let's get into it. Before we deep dive into the chart, I got to give a little reminder here to everybody because I'm really bad at this and I'm trying to get myself better at this. I am live every Saturday night. We look at charts. If you want to be part of the Starry Night Live, it's here on the channel, Saturdays at 9 p.m. Central Time, Central Daylight Time, Central Time. All who come in a good way are welcome. All who come in a good way are welcome. That's Saturday night at 9 p.m. Central. Kind of just give a quick little refresher, a little reminder. We've been talking about for a while how we have the Great Cross in the chart, and it's still there. Yes, it's April, and this damn Great Cross is still prevalent. It is the cardinal Great Cross. It's been running between 14 and 15 degrees of Cancer. I'm like, okay, what are the cardinal signs? Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Did I miss one? I mean, you have to try to forgive me. My brain is not working. I forgot Aries. I completely overstepped Aries. You know, Mercury is in Aries right now. And so I have been noticing, yeah, the mouth is way ahead of the mind. So here we go. Let's start that over. A cardinal great cross, Aries, Cancer, Libra, Capricorn. Okay. Cardinal meaning stuff gets initiated, things get started in cardinal energy, like decisions and choices have to be made. So it's a cardinal great cross. So it's a cardinal great square in the chart. Okay. Between those energies, you think of Aries energy. Where is that in your chart? Where's your Cancer energy in your chart and your Libra and your Capricorn and those houses that they're in? If you can just take that line and draw that square, there's going to be a cardinal great cross there no matter what. How can I say that so confidently? Because it is a great cross that is set up by the transits up in the sky. And it is the north and the south node in Aries and Libra, right? 15 degrees, north and south node. Cross point, that's why we get a cardinal great cross. The cross point is Cancer and Capricorn, right? And we have two fixed stars there. So all of us likely, absolutely in our charts, if we're living and breathing right now, we have those fixed stars at those points because the fixed star stuff, they barely move. They're so freaking slow. We just say they're fixed. They barely move. Not fixed as in Taurus and Leo and Aquarius and Scorpio. Not fixed in that way. You see how one got skipped in my brain? Yeah. All right. Thankfully, this chart's already marked up, so all I got to do is kind of read it. So there won't be any skipping over. Like I already did my homework. But the fixed cross and understanding it's still there, Aries energy. So we think my body, the rights of my body, the freedoms of my body, freedom and independence is key with Aries energy, big time key. But there's also this thing about wounds because Chiron is here. Chiron is getting close to the node. Actually, it had already paired up to the node, I should say. But the Chiron energy is prevalent because the current transiting planets are going to be touching the Chiron in Aries. You follow? Yeah. So about a month ago, Chiron and the North Node were exact, right? And so this is, think Aries. What's the meaning? We think Mars. Soldiers, people in battle. What about just regular Joe Schmo civilians caught in the crosshairs, right? Caught in the crossfire. Because Aries is very optimistic and fiery and is all about let's just do this. And it can be, yeah, we think positive energy, but we also think maybe a little naive and a little impulsive and a little young, a little green behind the ears, because it's just like, let's just get out there and do it. So it doesn't have a lot of experience. That's the thing about Aries that people, they use the word naive, but we also have to realize it's inexperienced energy. It's fresh, it's new, it's the first sign in the damn zodiac. First sign, so it's the baby of the zodiac, right? So it doesn't have the experiences, which is why we say that when Aries energy, Mars, because Mars is the ruler, once it ages, and I mean decades, it becomes beautiful. We really get to see it and feel it and understand it. And it expresses so much better because it's been there, it's been to the battle, it understands, it's seen both sides of the battle. It really develops some wisdom, and it really becomes, instead of about me, it learns to really talk and really act. Aries energy, my actions. It lives to lead, to show the way with we in mind. We, both of us, the we, right? Not just me. And that's a beautiful expression of mature Aries energy. Okay. So the Cancer energy, home, family, emotions, feminine energy, because it's the moon is the ruler. So we think of childhood, we think of ancestry, right? My relatives, we think of the sticks and the bricks, like literally where we live. Feminine energy, again, women's issues, right? Aries and Cancer, exact square. Yep, exactly square. It's emotions and it's feelings. It's difficult. It creates this sharp point where they meet up, right? And so this is what's happening. We have a sharp square in that sky with the transits. So it's not quick, it's long, but it also includes Libra energy, which is significant one on one relationships. It's business partnerships and personal partnerships. This is marriage, right? This is people who go into business together. This is the law, as in lawyer energy, as in the courtroom, as in justices, as in the judicial system, as in Lady Justice herself, right? So compromise, but negotiations is a big one. And so this big, great cross, which turns into a great square because I don't have an extra finger to run along the line across the top. We can just go like that and use the top of the camera there. Yeah, there you go, to use that border. But you understand what I'm saying, right? So it's that partnership stuff, and the South Node is there. The South Node's in partnerships, and it's a release. That's what the South Node is. It's all about the past. What was done in the past? Those partnerships you had, there might be a little stress and tension because, well, there is stress and tension. There's a there's a stress and tension coming from Vega in Capricorn, and there's the stress and tension coming from Sirius, Sirius, in the sign of Cancer. And these energies are strong. They've been around for oh so damn long. Okay, long time. So it's not just women's issues, but nurturing and home and family, empathy, feelings. It's the public. Cancer energy literally is the public, but it's also like where you live. It is the house that you live in, literally. And then we go from the Libra energy, even though I just was on Cancer and went to Libra. Now we're going to Capricorn energy. And Capricorn is corporations, things that have been built to last a long time. So material and tangible, solid things that won't break, right? Things that are meant to last. We think of cast iron, we think of steel, right? We think of the rocks in the earth, not the dirt. Like the dirt is Taurus energy. Yeah, the rocks would be Capricorn because it's the hard stuff, you know? But Capricorn is the boss, the person that's in charge, the CEO. Corporations, right? And so when we go around that fixed cross, the last cardinal sign is Capricorn. And we think of, especially here in the US, only because this is where I live, folks. So you got to tell me about where you live. Doesn't mean I'm leaving you out, but just give us some examples in your country of how this shows up. For here, the damn corporations run everything, right? Whether you're the freaking drug company or the insurance companies, or whether you're the freaking uh, weapons companies, like they just seem to have the most power when it comes to what happens uh, on, well, I was going to say Wall Street, but it first has to happen within Congress, right? And the laws that get passed or don't pass, or the bills that get brought to the table or that don't get brought to the table, right? So there's a whole lot of politics, learning how to negotiate, a whole lot of that going on. And unfortunately, that Capricorn stuff is part of it. And again, it's the last of the cardinal signs. True Capricorn energy, when it's elevated, when it's functioning on a high level, when it has learned that it is not always about the material and the tangible, although that is Capricorn for real. It's the long term financial stability, long term financial security, long term financial safety, right? Just like Cancer energy, safety, but it's like emotional safety, Cancer energy. Cancer opposite of Capricorn, emotional safety, emotional security, emotional satisfaction. The opposite is going to be the material satisfaction, the material safety, the material security, Capricorn. So there is that push pull between home and family, home and work, Capricorn, my work, what I do for work, what am I doing to establish the long term financial stability for me in my life? Like, what is my 10-year plan type of stuff, right? So, Capricorn energy, being the boss, being the last cardinal sign, and finding it may not be able to get everything it wants in the way that it wants. It's got this other T square thing, which creates the cardinal cross, blah, blah, blah. So that is all that's in the backstory and that has been in the backstory, and it's still not going away. We're in April and it's still here. It was strong in February, strong in March, and here we are, freaking April. It's still a thing. Good God. Taurus season begins this week, but Jupiter and Venus are super prevalent this week because Jupiter and Venus are getting connections. They're having conversations. They're sitting down at the table with individuals, right? And it's all about the future because it's connecting with the North Node. It's also connecting with authority figures. It can be authoritarians too. I always forget to say authoritarians because Aquarius energy and the planet Uranus can be the symbol of both. It is friends, it is groups. Yes, it's the freaking airlines. I know it's complicated, but it is the inventor, the humanitarian, but it can also be the authoritarians, right? Because Uranus is someone who's in charge, like I'm the boss. Well, if it goes extreme, it's I will always be the boss, and there will never be another boss other than me until the day I die. And you will do exactly as I say. And there's no voting, there's no opinions, it's my way or the highway. I'm the authoritarian, right? So Uranus can be that. And so that means we're going to be taking a look at Pluto too. On top of all of that, Mercury is retrograding. And we know, if you saw the part 1 and the part 2 of the Mercury retrograde videos, Mercury is in Aries retrograding. Well, I mentioned that the North Node is going to be a thing because a lot of planets, including Mercury, are going to be at the table with the North Node, our future. The future of what? Aries. Future of what? Mars, because Mars rules Aries. So we're talking, is it the future of fighting? Is it the future of the war? Wars, weapons. Yeah. Just very aggressive, assertive, physical action, right? We have Mars energy. And so it's North Node connecting with multiple planets. And the Mercury retrograde, it goes over the North Node. It does a pass multiple times, 3 to be exact. 3. So in this video, we're going to see when Mercury goes backwards and stands perfectly still on top of the North Node. Yeah, I'm going to give you the dates and I'm going to talk it through. Okay, so we are starting off down here on this day, April 15th. What do we got? Venus. Venus at 12 degrees and 57 minutes. So we got Venus at 13, which means Venus is conjunct the North Node. That's what that means. Venus is conjunct the North Node. Venus is our values, it's desires, it's money in the bank, right? But it doesn't have to just be like cash, it's our values. Well, guess what? What would Venus value when it's in Aries? Like, what would we say, well, this is our value. This is worth something. Sure, it's Aries. Do I think the value becomes weapons when Venus is in Aries? It would definitely be one of them for sure. Does it mean we desire going to war? No, it doesn't mean that. I know the United States does not want to enter a war, right? But I also know that supplying weapons has been something that they've been trying to do for Ukraine. Now, is this just all about that? Hell no. You got to figure out where's your Aries energy in your chart. Like, what house number is it in? Because Venus can be money, can be cha-ching. It as sure as hell can be cha-ching because it's Venus. Can be love. And it's Aries, it's self-love and self-worth and identification. Who am I? Do I love who I am? Sometimes we got to experiment, we got to explore, we got to go, we kind of got to be the maybe it's the first one out of the gate, not so much necessarily by the speed, but we got to maybe do something, like we think of the pioneers, they just went to wherever the hell they went. They went across the ocean. They went up to the other side of the country. They were pioneers. They went to where no man has gone before. They went to space even, right? And sometimes we learn more about who we are when we do that, when we embrace that Aries energy. And then when we do that, wow, we kind of get a new understanding about our abilities and our identity. Okay. And with that, then comes the love. Like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. Right. Aries is very physical. It's all about the physical body, working out, or, if it's not working out, it's just I'm amping up. I'm being more busy because I'm just like, it's all about action, the word action. Now, North Node, the conjunction. North Node's about the future. Already talked about this, already talked about the possibilities. So, can be the possibilities of what we value, can be the possibilities talking about our money and our values, right? Because it's Venus. Venus rules Taurus. So, this is banking. It's also the earth. Also, the earth. Okay. We also see here on the 15th, we got Mercury red. So she's retrograding, right? Yep, just like this, the North Node retrograding. Mercury moves a lot faster than the North Node. So this Mercury at 1947 going backwards is going to be conjunct the North Node this week. Absolutely. When we get to that date, I'll let you know. But look, Chiron. We got Mercury and Chiron together. Now, here's the thing. Mercury is the news. It's what we'll be hearing about and thinking about and talking about. Chiron is the wounds of the body, the wounds from war. It could have to do with seeing bodies. Does it mean, oh my God, we're going to be looking at dead bodies? Well, it could be small children. It could be small children who are dying of starvation. And matter of fact, Bo of the Fifth Column had a excellent video about this because it was basically a response to one of the subscribers' comments. And the subscriber was saying something like, you kind of, there was something different in your voice this time. Normally we walk away and we're done with your video and we feel, if nothing else, there's clarity and possibly some hope. And they said in this video, sure, there was clarity, but it didn't feel so hopeful. It just felt different. And so he was explaining, yeah, when we were younger, by the generations, we grew up hearing about, starving babies in Ethiopia. And it was common for people to part of their church organizations or however, to send money overseas to prevent people from starving to death and babies from starving to death. And so when I think Mercury conjunct Chiron, yeah, there can be a lot of different ways we're witnessing and seeing and hearing about, consuming the news about the wounds of the bodies. And remember what I have written here. I was going to say, remember these degrees, 19. Yeah, that's where the eclipse happened, April 8th. That's where the eclipse occurred. Okay, it was at 19 degrees. So this is a hot button point and will stay hot. An eclipse occurs, and the degree that it occurs at stays hot. Imagine, if you will, a point where it creates like a button, and in that button, it is it is fiery, and it gets pressed again and again every time a planet comes around and presses on it. Every time it rides over that 19-degree point. But remember, the orb for the eclipse is this particular eclipse was really big. Yeah, and that 15 degrees was part of it. So all of this together is a thing, right? And so sending support of some, because that's Venus. Venus brings gifts. Venus loves to bring gifts. Like, she wants to be able to provide. She's the earth, she's food. She is food for sure. Okay. And there might be money involved, right? But for somebody who needs it, for someone who is hurting, someone where there are wounds, and wounds possibly that had to do with fighting. Okay. Wounds from weapons, wounds for fighting, all that's in this. So the visuals and the news about that, it might hit different, as Bo said. It might just hit very different. And people may reprioritize largely. People may really start reprioritizing their values after this day. Okay. So, with that said, we go up back to the 17th and the 18th. We've got the sun at 29 degrees. 17th and 18th, the sun, an authority figure, in Aries, military. Aries is fighting. Aries is, I'm taking actions with my body. It's independent action, by the way. It's very assertive, can be aggressive, but can also be very inspiring and optimistic and positive. Just super impulsive energy in general for Aries. Usually has easy to anger, quick. Yeah, these are soldiers for sure, right? People where, yeah, they can just pop off at any minute. And that's not to like, say that there can't be soldiers who are smart and slow to act and who think first. I'm just saying that typically people who join up, there's probably some strong Aries in their chart, or Mars or Scorpio, right? Pluto, Scorpio. The person that's in charge may be in charge of the military. Who knows? 29 degrees Aries. All right. And that's the 17th and the 18th. And then the very next day, the sun goes into Taurus. Now I have this here. I have this date. I have this here because 29 degrees is a critical degree. When we have a critical degree, normally something occurs. That's just the way it goes. Now, could it happen on the 17th and the 16th? It could, absolutely. Because on the 15th, you saw that chart, right? You saw what I was showing you for the 15th. There's a lot over there in Aries already on the 15th. It's really, the energy is really strong. Okay. Do I think it's going to be something bad? No, I am very hopeful that it's beautiful and supportive because Venus is there. But that's not all. This week, remember, we have Jupiter, the greater benefic, visiting Uranus. Yeah. So we're going to get there. And it's not far from this. So this week is kind of jam-packed with a lot of events that are kind of close to each other. So what happens? Well, Taurus, sun going into the Taurus, an authority figure. This can have to do with an authority figure of our values and authority of the earth. This can have to do with banking. This can have to do with the interest rates. This is April 19th. All right. Someone in charge, we think of Taurus, our values, right? Our values, natural resources and the earth. Then we have the, also on the 18th, because remember, like this whole time thing here, it's all right on top of each other. So the 18th, we had Mercury and Venus at 17 degrees. At 17 degrees. Right. So Venus and Mercury are conjunct in Aries. So the news, right, and the conversations, what we're thinking about and talking about in Aries at 17 degrees. Venus and Mercury are sisters. So we're sitting at the table and we are able to have conversations. We are able to get stuff done. Mercury writes, she's the scribe. Venus is all about her, it's her sister. She's telling her, this is what I value. This is what we need. We need to provide for this, right? So this can be support through money, through food. We think Venus, it's beauty. We think fine art. We think Venus is a very creative energy. We move down to April 20th, and we've got, we're looking over here. We have Black Moon Lilith at 16, but she moves. And then we have Juno at 6. Now, again, these have moved because they're retrograding. They're going backwards, so they're getting lower in numbers, right? Well, those lower in numbers mean that they're going to trine the sun in Taurus. Remember, the sun had just entered Taurus at 0 degrees on the 19th. So that's on the 19th. This is where Black Moon Lilith and Juno are on the 15th. So Juno, if nothing else, is trining the sun by the 18th and the 19th. We've got a nice, beautiful trine between a partnership, a practical partnership, Virgo. What do we need? This is nursing. This is home health care aides. But if we think on a large scale, it's jobs, maybe jobs reports, it's your to-do lists, it's your projects, but it is also taking care of the material, the practical, the tangible, the logical, and the basic needs. Hygiene, clean water, clean food, clean clothing, Virgo energy. Okay. So that's the 20th. And that WCK, yeah, that's the World Central Kitchens. They, if you're not sure who they are, they've been around for a long time now, but they get on their plane, train, automobile, whatever they need to do. And they've got professional chefs and they all volunteer. They get there and they make food for natural disasters, wars, people who are starving, right? They get there, they take care of it, and they do what they can. And yeah, we'll see what happens, right? But they've already done this. This isn't new. Okay, this isn't new. But I just wanted to express it because Venus conjunct Chiron on the 20th, and then Mercury conjunct the North Node, all on the same day, right? So these, the news and the food and the wounds and our future and the future of the war, and like there's going to be a switch that gets flipped here. So we've got the 21st. Here it is. Here it is, the 21st. Actually, just so you know, this conjunction, Jupiter. Now, this can be overseas because it's Jupiter, right? It's the greater benefic. So it likes to bring gifts, and it kind of like is that protective bubble, even Jupiter. Jupiter can be the angel wings. Jupiter can be really idealistic. Jupiter can be like the Navy, someone who's or World Central Kitchen, someone who is loading up the boat and bringing supplies and dropping them off, and building something in order to create a long-term flow with the supply chain for food, right? And so it's Jupiter conjunct Uranus and Taurus. So we think all about the earth. And even though there's surprises possibly, this is so far for this year, everyone has, yeah, everyone keeps talking about this. And this is it. We've been talking about this since 2023, the great conjunction with Jupiter and Uranus, the most auspicious time this year, right? Where maybe technology gets a hand in providing values. Yes, this can be Bitcoin. Yes, this can be technology and digital coin, digital money, but this can also be like the Ethereum actually maybe being made into an ETF by now, but it can also be an authority figure because it's Uranus. Remember at the beginning of the video, this can be group energy. So it's humanitarian aid, possibly social causes, friends, right? This is the internet. And when we go live and we do like the live streams, that's Aquarius and Uranus energy. Jupiter goes big with it. It says, let's do it. If we're going to do this, let's do it, right? So it can be a surprise. Yes, it can be a pleasant surprise because it's Jupiter, but surprises because it's Uranus. So there is a trine, I'm sorry, a conjunction. And the conjunction with these two are at 21 degrees. Jupiter and Uranus at 21 degrees. Okay. So it happens, likely starting to feel it before the 21st of April. You guys have probably saw me talk about it, that some of us might feel it the beginning of April, like once Jupiter hits 19 degrees, because there's so much in you're in Taurus, right? There's a lot happening over here in Taurus energy. Here on this chart at the beginning of this week, Jupiter's at 20. And then we see White Moon Lilith at 21 with Uranus. You remember Taurus energy, the earth, the five senses, the smells, the taste, the touch. This is clothing because we think of textiles, we think of the earth, the animals, the food. Think of all the Taurus. It's creature comforts. What do you need to feel comfortable in your life? What do you need to feel comfortable in your life? What do you need to have in your world where you feel stable, calm, peaceful, and secure? That's all Taurus stuff. Yeah, that is all Taurus energy. Very creative energy, right? It's solid like a rock. It likes to provide peace. It wants peace. Taurus really does. Uranus says, well, we're going to kind of throw a little monkey wrench in that, right? But at this time, this week, Jupiter at 20, White Moon Lilith, kind of like Glenda the Good Witch, at 21 and Uranus at 21, I truly believe we're already feeling the effect of the great conjunction between these two. And I keep calling it the great conjunction for 2024. We'll put it like that. The great conjunction of 2024. Venus is a thing here. You see why Venus and Jupiter are so big, why this is such a beneficial time, because it's the two benefics getting together. Venus rules Taurus. So it's Jupiter in Taurus. Jupiter in Taurus. And it's going to go big. That's going to be exponential when it touches Uranus. So it's kind of like a surprise of some sort. When we think surprise, we think friends, we think group energy, we think technology, we think airlines, wheels falling off, doors coming off, like just super crazy shit. Yeah, lots of crazy shit going on. And it's Boeing, right? And I'm not trying to talk crap about a company, but I am big on safety. I'm cautious, man. Taurus energy is very cautious. And it says, hey, wait a minute, damn it. Safety first, frick it. What the hell? You don't have time to look and pay attention to the safety measures? There's a problem here. Yeah, there's a problem here. So an authority figure possibly, because we don't want those kinds of surprises. We want good stuff. And Jupiter can also be airplanes, but more like flight and travel, I should say. So this combination, I know like everyone, well, I don't know because I don't listen to any other astrologers. I do my own astrology. I truly don't listen to anybody else. Jupiter rules Saggy. It's about traveling and going on vacation. It flies through the air, right? Jupiter. Absolutely. And this is also Pisces energy. So it can be by sea, can be air and by sea. Sure can. This can also be judges, by the way. So let's put a little bit of this in there, a little bit of the black. This can be judges too. That's important to remember, especially in the US. Holy crap. And then we've got the big, possibly a shock and surprise because it's Uranus, which can be science and medicine. It can be NASA. It can be space. Think, like Da Vinci, think Nikola Tesla, think batteries, think storing power, think nuclear. And I don't mean nuclear as in, oh my God, it's a nuclear bomb. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying we need to have a solution for the grids. Like in the United States, there's been, I think, a couple of fires, like the Texas fire and the Hawaii fire, was because we had like an outdated structure for the electrical grid. And literally high winds came and knocked shit down. You got a live wire. Oh my God, we got a horrible fire going on now. And that is Uranus. That is Uranus. This is electricity. So does this mean, hopefully it means something beneficial? Maybe there'll be some sort of a package. Who the hell knows? A company, something that says, we got to take care of this shit. We got to be responsible. Maybe, and this can be judgments, right? Like I said, with judges, there can be a judgment that comes down. It's a possibility. I'm not holding my breath, but anything is possible. This conjunction between these two, this conjunction lasts from the 15th all the way to the 21st. Yeah. The conjunction from the 15th all the way to the 21st of April, where it's Jupiter and Uranus in that in that in that cluster of beautiful, peaceful, earthy energy. Okay. Now, possibly, I'm just thinking because it's Jupiter, maybe it's a foreign authority figure, somebody who is, you know, in another country on the other side of the world, an authority figure, and Jupiter coming together in Taurus. Can there maybe be a peace treaty? I mean, we think of Israel, we think of Palestine, we think of Ukraine, we think of Russia. I realize there are likely other horrible things going on in other places in the world. These are just the things that I've forced myself to at least be knowledgeable a little bit about so I can understand the astrology. Like that's what these things are. So these two together and seeing Mercury and all this energy in this fiery thing. We think of soldiers and we think of, I wonder what's going to go on. Does this mean a peace, a ceasefire? Is it more than a ceasefire? Is it more of a peace treaty? So to look at the big picture, that's why it's important to look at the big picture. I'm giving myself that reminder. If you would look at the whole picture, you would remember what the hell's going on and what is where. And so understanding that the Venus North Node thing could mean the future and some sort of a peace treaty. There's a possibility for this because remember, Venus is also here, and it's a big deal when she's conjunct. I'm sorry, it's a big deal when Jupiter and Uranus are there. Now, on my chart, because this takes us to the 21st, right? I also have written down the 22nd, but before I talk about that, I want to come over here to Mercury real quick. Well, it's actually from the 20th to the 24th. I have Mercury written down. Yes, she's retrograding. Mercury, though, sits. I'm not joking. Mercury moves really fast, but she sits at 16 degrees for 4 days. April 20th, 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 24th. Well, that's really like 5 days, but she sits at 16 degrees. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. She sits there. 16 degrees. That's conjunct the North Node. So there's a huge opportunity. There's a lot of communication going on. There is talking going on. There is writing going on. There is news going on. It's conjunct the North Node at 15 degrees. It's in Aries. So it is about war. You see? So likely I am praying, could there be peace? Could there be a more serious conversation about peace? Can we make this happen? I think when countries step up and pledge in, whether it's supporting through cash or supporting with weapons, I would think other countries might step down, right? And I know a big thing in many people's minds is, will the United States stop supplying money and weapons and to Israel, who is a member of NATO, right? So it becomes tricky. It's a big, yeah, Libra energy negotiations, big time, which is why at the beginning of the video, you see the Great Cross. Well, I have it drawn as a great square. You see it? Yeah, you see that? You see, so it's war, Aries, and homes and civilians and the public, Cancer energy, and then Aries, war and the actions, getting a square from Capricorn, which is organized government and businesses and corporations. Right. And they can bring support. So that takes us to Ceres. Yeah. On the 22nd, we have Ceres here. She's in gray. We're going to give her, she's in green. We're going to give her a little bit of gray. Ceres is trining Taurus energy. And she's trining the big three that are in Taurus right now. The big three we've been talking about. And that big three is Uranus and White Moon Lilith and Jupiter, because they all sit at 21 degrees. You see? They all sit at 21 in Taurus. Again, money, food. Can we talk peace? Are you ready to surrender? Are you ready to say, okay, we must sign a peace treaty? We're not going to fight anymore. Like, this is Venus and Taurus with Uranus. So there is somebody of authority involved in this, right? We got two authority figures in a way with Jupiter and Uranus. And there's Sirius. At the beginning of the week, on the 15th, Sirius was at 19. It's not a super fast mover, but as the week goes on, it's sitting over here at 20 degrees, 20, 21 degrees by the end of the week, by the 22nd, right? Is that what I wrote? By the 22nd? Yeah, April 22nd, you have Sirius trining, part of this big, beautiful trine. I'm going to put it in blue. You have Sirius trining these big threes right here. Okay. So Sirius is food. Sirius is support. It's nurturing. Sirius is in Capricorn. So it does it with the material and the tangible. It builds something. Going over to Gaza, building a bridge or whatever it is, they're building some sort of a structure. And that, or it's a port or a dock, some sort of a structure so that the Navy can show up with ships filled with medicine, Uranus, food, Venus, and supplies. And so building something, Capricorn energy, Capricorn builds. And to go deeper on that, where's Saturn? Because that's our builder, Saturn, right? The ruler, the builder, the boss. It's in Pisces. It's going to bring support. This chart shows the support. It is building some sort of a structure on the water to bring support. Do you see Saturn here is at 15? And you heard me in the very beginning of the video talking about 14 and 15 degrees. The big, great cross, right? The big, great cardinal cross. So when we back up on the chart, this 15 degrees, I have green lines drawn. Can you see the green lines from Mars and Saturn? Yeah, they're sending supportive sextile energy to Jupiter. Yep, these two right here, supportive sextile energy to Jupiter, White Moon, Lilith, and Uranus. So this week is huge for seeing what happens on the global scale, right? On the grand stage, on the world stage, as far as people who need support, people who are victims of war, casualties of war, whether they're soldiers or civilians. There is support. And I'm hoping this means this bridge or whatever this thing is. I keep saying bridge. I don't think that's what it is. It's like a dock or something. So ships can actually dock and unload supplies, the medicine, the food, the clothing, water, right? Mars was just talking to Saturn. It now has its orders and it is ready to go. It says, here I come. I'm supplying what you need. Okay. I'm going to take care of it. Remember, this is supportive sextile energy. Supportive sextile energy. So it's in the stars, it's written. And hopefully, I pray that more comes out of this other than just sending supplies. Hopefully, we can get peace out of this. And if you have something in your chart at the 19, 20, 21, 22 degrees of Taurus, look to see, like you might be on the end of some sort of support, regardless of where you live. You could have beneficial energy. You could have stuff in Virgo. You could have stuff in Capricorn. So you may also get the support that you need. You see, it's not just across the world on the other side of the country. It can be totally for you and in your life, wherever you live, because the planets are universal. The planets cover the entire, this is the universe. This is the language of the universe. It doesn't look down at the earth, the planet itself, and then pinpoint and say, oh, but over here, we're going to do this. And over here, no. These energies, the kind of conversations and themes that I've talked about here, and the qualities and the characteristics and the traits, they're for all of us everywhere. So as you see in the chart, there's a lot of support that I've talked about with the earth and with the dates. But in the back, other than the square, There's the great water trine that I have drawn in here. I also have a great air trine drawn in here that I didn't even talk about, right? So there's a lot of support, a whole bunch of support. Pluto, forgot to mention it. Here we are, 2 degrees. 2 degrees and 2 minutes is Pluto. All right. That matters because Pluto rules Scorpio along with Mars. Pluto can be that divine energy. It's that great power. Pluto at 2 degrees values, think Venus again. All right. And it supports, Pluto at 2 degrees supports what this chart shows is likely to happen this week, and likely us being able to visually see it and hear about it because we're talking about it. It's in the news, and it's happening. And we're seeing how there can be support, and then likely a change in our values. A change in our values after this week. And when I say a change in our values, I'm not talking just about your money. I'm talking about you literally may make some different decisions after this week. There may have been things where you're like, I want to be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I want to be able to build something that's sustainable for my children, my grandchildren. I want to help the earth. I want to do good, damn it. I'm tired of war. I can't handle, it's nonsense. It's chaotic. It's senseless, right? The suffering is senseless. Can we just have peace? Thank you for your time, and just know I always